Right, as I mentioned before, now we all know, now you know this, don't you? If you fall off a bike, the best thing to do is to get back on it as quickly as possible. If you fall off your motorbike in an horrific accident that rips your leg off, you could probably be excused for never wanting to see one again. Now, Leah Debus lost her leg last year in what the emergency services call a traumatic amputation after crashing her 650cc bike. Exactly the same kind of bike that she got back on for the first time at Castle Combe earlier this week as part of the Bike Experience, run by a charity that gets disabled motorbike riders back in the saddle.
I'm a right above knee amputee. I lost my leg in a bike accident on my own bike. It was a traumatic amputation, so lost it at the scene.
How long ago was that?
It'll be a year next Friday, so this is kind of like a little anniversary present to myself.
So you're clearly excited and you're clearly nervous and a little bit emotional.
Yeah. Very.
So is this your first time on a bike?
It's my first time solo, yeah. I've been back on pillion, but to actually ride, this is the first time, yeah.
How long had you been biking before you had your accident?
I'd been riding pillion like all my life, but never had the chance to actually ride, and then sort of the kids grew up and I divorced. The opportunity arose. So I did my CBT last May and sadly had my accident in September.
So you've had a tough old year.
Yeah.
But you look great, you look well, you look excited. Are you used to riding a bike this big?
I'd had a couple of goes on my partner's outside the front of our house.
So you're going to be helped to get your head around the fact of riding a bike with a slightly different body conformation.
Absolutely.
Are you going to be going out on the track later?
I hope so, yeah. I hope that I'm, like, after I've done this first bit, that I feel confident enough to have a go, yeah, definitely.
So I'm going to be slightly mean, because the worst thing you should do really when someone is nervous is focus themselves on what they're nervous about. But what are you worried about?
It's the fact that I haven't got my right leg to put down on the floor to stabilise me. So my fear is literally going sideways and falling off.
But you've got the catchers here who hold the bike and everything else.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Can I talk to you when you've been on it?
Yes.
So Leah's now standing by the motorbike. The first time she's driven a motorbike since she lost her bottom half of her right leg in very, very nasty accident where she actually lost leg during the accident. She's surrounded by 4 helpers, including Maria Costello, who's acknowledged to be the greatest female bike rider in the country, fastest woman ever around the Isle of Man TT circuit. So Leah is now sitting on the bike while the helpers just adjust her right leg, so she feels comfortable. This involves a little bit of moving some straps around because the leg's strapped into place against the bike to stop it from being a liability while she's actually moving. One of what they call the catchers, who's holding the mic, has gone to get a little piece of Velcro to extend the strap that they want to put round Leah's leg to stabilise it. She's actually smiling now. She was very nervous 5 minutes ago. She's already laughing and enjoying the sensation of sitting on a motorbike again.
The difference will be when you come to a halt, all right?
Yeah.
All I want you to do is just come to a halt and make it simple. You'll just go straight into the guy who's holding his hand up and be caught.
Okay.
Now, it's very important that as you run to a halt, the guy at the front is not going to move, all right? They'll put the hand up and they'll stand still. That's so you don't have a moving target.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. Maintain your speed all the way up to the front guy. Don't slow down 10 yards before, because the bike will become unstable. You need to maintain speed to keep stability. And come in at a fast walking pace and brake in the last kind of half yard to a yard. And we're used to it. You're not going to scare him, and you're not going to run him over. It will be fine.
So the guys are now happy that Leah's well placed on the bike, and they've now taken the bike off the rest and stood it up. You've got one catcher at the front, so he's got his legs either side of the wheel, the front wheel, and he's holding on to the front part of the bike. And then there's a catcher on the back, again with his legs either side of the rear wheel and holding onto the I guess it's a sort of handle that sticks out from the back of the pillion seat. And they're just talking her through going through the bends. So they're actually simulating her going through a left bend and then through a right bend, so she can remind herself on how it feels and get used to the fact that she can't move her right leg at all. She can only move her left leg. Leah's started the bike herself, and in the far corner of the car park at Castle Combe, she's about to drive a bike for herself for the first time since she had her accident last year. She's going to drive about 100 metres, do a slight right-hand bend, and then come to a halt where two guys will catch the bike. Oh, you already asked one of the instructors. She's nodding. Even through the visor on a helmet, you can see the concentration in her eyes. It's a very important moment for Leah. And that was a stall, but they were there and they caught her. So she's starting it again. They're absolutely with her. The fastest to her was Maria, actually, who's quite a slight figure compared to some of the helpers. Now she's going to go. Must be very unnerving. They're running with her.
So, how did she get on? We'll find out in a couple of moments' time. Leah Debus there, Chief Instructor Graham Pugh, talking to BBC Wiltshire's Karen Gardner. A few minutes ago, we met Leah Debus at Castle Combe. She's on the circuit there, getting back on a motorbike for the first time since she lost her leg in a bike crash last year. Now, she was joined by other injured and disabled riders being helped by a charity called The Bike Experience. Now, while BBC Wiltshire's Karen Gardner watched Leah take her first nervous run on the bike, she also met Simon Thompson. He describes himself as a paraplegic training to be a bike instructor.
So Simon, that was a nice sight, seeing Leah have her first go.
Oh yeah, it was absolutely fantastic.
She did really well, just one slight false start and she was off.
Yeah, well that's her first time on a big bike, because she's just done her CBT before her accident. So yeah, it's a big learning experience for her, as well as riding with a disability. So yeah.
So tell me, CBT?
CBT's when you can ride up to a 50 or a 125. Yeah, now she's on a 650, so she's doing well. Very
much bigger bike now. You're here to help today, but it isn't that long since you had your own accident.
No, I had my accident July last year. Basically, I lost control of the bike and went through a chain link fence, and yeah, it didn't do myself a lot of good, really. So,
not to be recommended. You were saying that you were extremely fortunate to survive. It was only due to a lucky coincidence.
Yeah, really. As well as my back injury, I broke my back at T11, so I'm paralysed from the waist down. But I also broke all the ribs down my right side, collapsed both lungs, did diaphragm, liver, spleen, so I was basically dying there and then. And a friend of mine's a rapid response paramedic, and it was actually him that got to me, and he did a chest drain to re-inflate my lungs and gave me a chance, really, and got me to hospital, and the doctors did the rest. They did a fantastic job.
Well, they certainly did. Now, you're only 23 now, and in 14 months you've gone from dying on the side of the road to being a really positive help with the bike experience, and you're helping other people with disabilities to get back on their bikes.
Well, when I was in hospital, obviously, I thought I'd never ride a bike again, and Talon, who's the organiser of this charity, he basically came in to visit and say, look, this isn't the end, you can still do this, and he invited me along to one of the days, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and just to be back on a bike again, it's absolutely brilliant.
But you also clearly get a kick out of helping other people get back on bikes too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a freeing experience, you know. You feel absolutely normal while you're riding.
Yeah, looking at you on the bike earlier, you wouldn't have known that you were paralysed from the waist down. What would you say to people who are thinking about contacting the bike experience?
Absolutely, go for it. It's you won't regret it, and it just gets you. You'll be so much more active, so much more positive. Once you've done this, you know, you want to go on and do other things. It's absolutely brilliant. I'd recommend it 100%.
I mean, there's the best part of 24 people here today, aren't they? Really just supporting 4 riders.
Yeah, I mean, these guys just devote their own time to it because they just enjoy watching people, you know, see the smiles on their faces when they're on the bike again.
You can see Leah smile through her visor, can you?
Yeah, absolutely. She's grinning ear to ear, sorry. Yeah.
So you're back on a bike and you'll soon be back working as an electrician?
Yeah, was working as an electrician before the crash, and I'm going to do a design course at college so I can go back and do the design work. And I'm absolutely looking forward to that, but just enjoying myself in the meantime.
Back on track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, I know you're waiting for Leah, but just before she comes up here, I'll get out of the way as soon as she comes in this direction. Laurie, you're one of the volunteers. Why did you do this?
Oh, crikey, that's a good question. Many reasons. First and foremost, it's rewarding. Secondly, I like being around motorbikes and the biking community. And probably finally, it's just a feeling that you're making a difference to people that are finding life very difficult every day for reasons that, I can't usually comprehend.
Right, she's coming, I'm out the way. And here she comes, much steadier this time, just a clear, safe stop, beautifully caught. And she's throwing her head back with laughter. She's obviously had a really good time. It's the sense of purpose of the guy who catches the front of the motorbike. This is a big 650 Suzuki motorbike, which is coming at him, being driven by someone who hasn't ridden a motorbike of that size for 14 months. And last time she rode it, she crashed and lost a leg. So he's a man of some determination. Let's just see what the guys are saying.
Did you feel, once you got that initial yard,
Yeah.
that more acceleration just makes the bike feel better, not worse. But
it didn't feel wobbly
it's
at all.
training your brain to go throttle
Yeah.
when you've not been doing that for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
But that was superb, really well done. So let's spin you round.
Let me just ask Leah, how do you feel?
Oh, over the moon.
Right, Leah, you've managed to struggle out the leather. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. How was it?
It was fantastic. Yeah. Quite emotional, actually.
Yeah, you looked emotional when you got off the bike.
Yeah.
They give you a lot of confidence, those guys. They really know what they're doing.
Absolutely
Don't they?
amazing, and they don't make, because I was really frightened of doing something stupid, and they don't make you feel silly at all, not at all.
And you felt that buzz again?
Yeah, definitely.
Are you going to be going out on the track later?
I hope so. Yeah. The right hand bends are the scary bit, because obviously that's where my leg's missing. I can't feel my foot on that side, so it's going to be a bit weird, but give it a go.
But you'll get used to it?
Yes.
And this is one step further to getting your test?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Next time I see you, you'll have it.
I hope so.
And there's Leah enjoying getting back on a motorbike after that serious biking accident that's only just a year ago. The organisation that helped her is a charity called The Bike Experience, and you can find out more at www.tbex.co.uk.